Hey, this is Sasha. Welcome to another episode on Hungry for Returns. Today we are going to look at dividends, dividend dates, and a stock chart. If you have a specific question that you want me to answer, go to the website at tradersfly.com, submit a voice question, and you'll get featured on the show and you get a video answer. That's a huge win. So let's go to the screen, let's listen up on the question, and then let's go ahead and answer it.
Hi Sasha, my name is Dave. My question is regarding TheStreet Inc. TST, which is trading around 230 right now, $2.30. They have announced a dividend for $1.77. It's due on April 22nd, and ex-dividend date is April 23rd. Record date April 15th. I am a little confused about the dates and how this dividend will play out. Also, would like to get your input on this stock as a whole. Thank you.
All right, so let's go. This is really Jim Cramer's company. I believe it used to be. I don't know if he still owns it. But in either case, if you look at TST, TheStreet, this is what it is. It's a financial news network founded by Jim Cramer. I don't know if he's still doing a lot of the stuff behind it, but it's really a company, and it's a company based on the popularity of Jim Cramer. So when you look at dividends, let's go to just dividends overall. Here's the dividends payout. Just go to Google and they'll tell you everything about, dividends here. So if you purchase a stock on its ex-dividend or after, you will not receive the next dividend payment. Instead, the seller gets the dividend. If you purchase it before the ex-dividend, you get the dividend. Now, keep in mind, really the whole point behind the dividends, and remember, it takes time for things to clear, right? So they have a record book. This is the simple version. They have a record book that they look at who has that stock. And what they do is they look at that record book at a certain time and see, hey, does Joey get a dividend? Does Bobby get a dividend? And if you're not on that record book, you don't get a dividend. Now, just like when you take a picture of your check or you deposit money in your bank account, it's not there instant. It takes like a couple days to clear the bank. And with stocks, it takes, call it 3 to 5 days to clear, to make sure you're on the books. So if you buy a stock on Monday, you might not be on the books till Wednesday, Thursday. Now those things can change depending on regulations, depending on how quickly they do it, depending on internet systems, whatever. But it takes a few days to get on the books. And that's the whole point, is you gotta get on before they look at the books. So as long as you're on before you get on the books, or as long as you're on when they look at the books, you get the dividend. That's how it works. So get it a few days before that record date, before that you need to get on the book. So there it is. It's on Google. It tells you all the different kind of nomenclature, but the simplified version is something you're not going to get on Google. So you got to get on the book before the payout, and it takes a few days to get on that book. So get it a few days before that record date. So anyways, if you look at the stock, if you're asking about the stock, TST, well, just back it up. Back it up to the monthly, the quarterly, the yearly. I mean, overall, this stock has been continuing to go lower. That's the trend, right? It's not really growing. There's a little bit of point where it kind of bottomed and then it tried to go up, and then all of a sudden it's too mature. It's been, 2009, 2008. It's just been here, and it's probably going to stick around there for, again, another 10 or 20 years or whatever the case is. So if you look at it, it just continues to move lower. And just looking at the historical part, 30 seems to be the high that it's been in a while. And you might get those huge moves, like let's say from here, hey, you went from $6 a share to up, and then it looks like now they did a split here, 1 for 10, and that's so they can get usually more funding because the stock's not doing well. So for every 1 share, you get 10 shares. So basically, they're getting more shares so that they can distribute more into the market. So that's usually not a healthy sign. So you can see there is your dividend, there is your split, and then there's the record calls. So anyways, overall, I wouldn't I wouldn't really look at this stock more for like a day trade or a bounce or something like that. But otherwise, it's not a good long-term investor. If you're looking at long-term investor, look for things that pay a nice, healthy dividend over the last 10 or 20 years. And, those are not too tough to find. I won't do any recommendations at this point, but, just pick some of the big companies out there, sell a lot of products, have been around for a long time. You could probably think of some on the top of your head. And those things will probably still be good for a while. They're healthy, long-term companies with a lot of assets, and that's kind of where you want to be. Other than that, as far as dividends go, just make sure you get on the books a few days before they start moving things to the records, and then you'll get the dividend if that's what you're looking to get. And otherwise, if you're in it for long term for dividends and you're investing in the stock, well, then you'll be holding it for quite a while, and then you don't really have to worry about these dates because you'll be in it for multiple months. Because if you're a dividend player, if you're interested in getting on dividends, then you'll probably be holding that stock for a long period of time anyway. So in that case, don't stress too much about when the dividend date is, the record date is. It's just, hey, you'll get the payout eventually because you'll probably be in the stock for a couple of years, because that's typically what you want to do if you're trying to get money from dividends. Anyways, I hope that makes sense, gives you some things to think about. And of course, you could always research a little bit more online. Thank you so much for asking your question. If you have a specific question that you want me to answer, go to tradersfly.com and you can submit a voice question, and I'll be happy to answer your question by video and give you a little more detail and insight. But otherwise, if you just want to hang out on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, or get on the newsletter list so that way you get notified as I release new courses, videos, coupon codes, other good stuff, and announcements. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.